All right. Hello, hello, everybody. We are getting started here. I hope everybody is having a great day so far. Welcome back to In the Know. I hope everyone had a great holiday, a happy new year, all that good stuff, as well as a good January. Probably been busy. We are now live today. There is computer audio only. If you're having issues with hearing, please make sure your speakers are unmuted. There is no telephone dial-in for today's event. You guys know me. I'm your principal product consultant here, Leah. Been with the company for over 11 years. If you're new to In the Know, welcome. And if you are a regular, welcome back. I am a part of your partner sales channel team and currently located still haven't moved in the last 2 months in Tucson. So excited to be here with you guys today, rounding out the week with some new stuff we got coming to QuickBooks Online. But before we do that, I have some housekeeping items before we introduce our guests. So first things first, as far as navigating the platform goes, if you have questions, you are free to ask them in the Q&A. There are handouts. We will have them throughout the screens. If you guys are looking at the screens, and then we've got folks on the back end that are also sending out the links as well. But the handouts can be found at www.intuit.me/ITK handout-FEB23. Again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A. There is no chat for this particular session. All right, agenda, pretty easy agenda, welcoming everybody in, and then we're going to be moving into CPE eligibility information review, today's learning objectives, as well as today's topics, and we'll close out for today. So only 60 minutes for today. Thank you for coming and spending your valuable time with us. We really, really, really appreciate it. All right. Just another quick friendly reminder, if you have any questions, please use Q&A of the Zoom panel, not chat. Chat should be disabled. Only submit questions that are related to the content feature today, please. We will not be able to answer all questions. We do try our very best. There's a ton of you and just a few of us. So we do have folks on the back end that help answer questions as fast as they can. We may not get to your question, but we will definitely try. If you're having questions with technical difficulties, the product is not working as designed, you're getting an error, please, please, please call technical support at 888-333-3451. That's 888-333-3451. And they'll be able to handle your technical issues as fast as possible. We will not be able to assist you with those here. So sincere apologies, but that'll be the fastest way to get those resolved. All right, CPE process. As you guys know, you must be present for a minimum of 50 minutes to earn 1 CPE credit. Please be sure to answer all of the polling questions that pop. If all or part of the requirements are met, your CPE will be emailed within 2 weeks following the close of today's webinar to the email address that you registered with for the webinar. Please note that the accountant_training@intuit.com is the email that it's going to be coming from, so make sure it is a part of your approved contacts so that you don't get it sent to junk or spam on accident. Today's learning objectives, we've got some cool new things to talk about today. I'm super excited. We've got some folks that are going to be talking about the revenue recognition feature in QuickBooks Online Advanced, learning all about the new revenue recognition. Find out updates to the QuickBooks Network, talk about a little bit about that, and then discover the new invoicing experience in QuickBooks Payments. And again, if you guys would like the handout, www.intuit.me/ITK handout-FEB23, FEB23. But first, I've got some news and some highlights for you guys before we get into revenue recognition. So QuickBooks Desktop 2020, this is a friendly reminder to you guys. We know the drill, this happens every year. We have 2020, which will be discontinuing on May 31st, 2023. Your clients will be sent a notice of the discontinuation of their QuickBooks in March. So we are giving you guys the heads up early, right? Be prepared, get ready for this discontinuation. Now may be the time to discuss this moving forward. Your clients can enjoy some benefits, right? Access to your client's financial information from anywhere, this is a good idea to maybe have that conversation with them moving to QuickBooks Online instead of renewing their QuickBooks Desktop subscription. So anytime, anywhere access from any device so you can analyze, consult, and advise your clients in real time. Using third-party and Intuit apps to expand the ability to help clients manage their business. So our third-party app ecosystem works really well when it's cloud to cloud. Take advantage of enhanced data security with Intuit's dedication to protecting a customer's data. We take security very seriously here at Intuit. QuickBooks Online security level is bank level encryption. So if you're using online banking, you can use QBO. And last but certainly not least, if you have clients write for QuickBooks Online, we have a migration toolkit here on slide 10 that has everything you need in one place. So buckle up and get ready for those discos, as we like to call it, for May 31st. Next up, free QuickBooks Online app for Windows and now Mac too. Whether your client is just migrating or has been using QuickBooks Online for a while, there's a new application that you can install. If you've been around for a while, then you'll know that there was a Windows application you could install on your Windows or Mac machine. It went away, and now there's a new one, but it's back. So this app will give them a desktop-like experience, as well as yourself, accessing data quickly and using the keyboard shortcuts that you are familiar with, flipping between companies within the product rather than having to open up, say, multiple Chrome users, as well as flipping between tabs and windows, just like you would on a QuickBooks Desktop product, as well as signing in and staying connected. It won't sign you out as quickly as the online version of Chrome in Chrome or Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, excuse me, sorry. Whew. So it does keep you logged in a little bit longer than just the 3-hour max in regular QBO. So if you have anybody interested in checking out the new Windows application, which is now available in Mac too, please check out slide 11. There is a link to download. Last, certainly not least, we, backed by popular demand, we have a new boot camp available February 28th through March 2nd. So if you're interested in becoming certified and get some product training on hand, please check out our boot camp. Certification boot camp is an in-depth 3-day free, at no money to you, free virtual conference designed to teach you about the products and help you prepare for the QuickBooks Online certification, QuickBooks Online Advanced certification, and QuickBooks Online payroll certification exams. So networking virtually with your peers and trainers as well, chatting live with QuickBooks experts, and earning free CPE if needed. If you're interested in checking this out, please reserve your spot today on this particular slide. I think it's slide 12. I can't see the screen. My little Zoom thing's in the way, but if you guys have the handout already, you'll see the product training and certification boot camp here. It'll also be at the normal qbtrainingevents.com site if you're familiar with that one. So super easy. Some quick announcements, but now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to welcome my first introduction, which should be Lakeith, who is going to talk a little bit about revenue recognition in QuickBooks Online Advanced.
Hey, everybody. All right. I hope you all can see my screen. So
yes.
I'm Lakeith. I'm the product manager on the QuickBooks Advanced, primarily working on the revenue recognition. I've been at Intuit from close to 1 year now, and I'll be walking you through the new revenue recognition that we launched recently. So one of the biggest reasons why we launched this was as our customers are moving to service-based, like subscription-based, or that kind of businesses as the industry is moving, we're hearing that a lot of our accountants or bookkeepers are doing these manual entries and spreadsheets, which are error-prone. Sometimes it's tedious, and they have to upload it again and then report. So this is always a tedious process. And also, it's always hard to review what is earned versus what is unearned if you're doing workarounds and doing manually. The third thing is most of our large clients has to be compliant to the ASC 606 compliance. So these are primarily the 3 reasons why we launched it. As a first pass, we are supporting the service items only, as I talked about like earlier. As the industry is moving towards subscriptions and like that kind of businesses, our primary customers are service based in the early on. Yes, we do have other customers asking, but this is the first like launch that we did. And then this is also a straight line recognition. Our first MVP is every month recognize a certain amount periodically and equally, which I'll go through a little bit, and also provide you a report of existing earned revenue and deferred revenue, and what would you earn in each of the months going forward for all the open invoices. So that is what we solved this year. And this is available today in all of the US. It was launched in November, and we are also launching in UK and Canada by end of this month or maybe in a week. So it should be available to everybody. And we also have some help articles already on the QuickBooks help. So moving on to how the product works. So once you enable revenue recognition in the global settings, which you should see on the in the global settings and sales option, you come to products and services, pick a service item. Like I mentioned, we have future plans to support other items, but a primary goal here is service items. You check if you want to recognize that periodically, you check that box, and it opens up an option to pick a liability account. By default, it shows the deferred revenue account. Of course, if you want to create an account on the fly, you can. You have certain type of accounts or certain type of products already. We can just reuse those accounts. And also you can set a duration up to 5 years. So right now, we're only supporting monthly. And in the future, we'll be supporting other frequencies like daily, weekly, or quarterly. But the maximum duration would be 5 years here. And once you set up the item, you save that and close. And then you go to the invoice. And when you create an invoice, you pick a service date. So service date is very important here because that is pretty much what's driving the recognition period. So let's say your service date is January 1st, you recognize a monthly from January end, like every month. So once you save the invoice, you see a view revenue recognition month that pops up. And once you click it, you will see the schedule. So once the schedule is started, the automatic entries get posted on the last day of the month. You can click on that to view how that journal entry happened in the backend. Moving on. So after you create those invoice, like you have multiple entries in one invoice, or you have 2 entries, or whatever the number is, that was done. And then you can come to the report and view how the recognition is happening. If you observe here, there are some deferred and there are some recognized items. So you can clearly see how much money you actually earn versus how much you might earn in the next month. So you'll have the full forward-looking data. This report is going to launch in the next 1 week or so for all the customers. In today's world, you can only see until the current month. So I'll answer more questions on the revenue recognition in the Q&A part. But before that, I have a question. So like I mentioned, we launched our MVP. And my question here is, as we improve our product, what do you want to see in the future? Our first option is more frequencies and like intervals, like daily, weekly, quarterly, because different kinds of businesses need different kinds of frequencies and intervals. The second option is automatically support the credits and refunds. Example, in today's world, we don't support the credits and refunds. You need to make a manual contra journal entry. But let's say you're issuing a credit or a refund, it automatically makes that entry for you. That's the second option. The third option is, once the schedule is started, there might be several reasons why you might want to cancel that. Maybe that invoice is not valid anymore, or you want to pause. Let's say a construction company paused their work for a couple of months, or you want to edit the schedule and say, you know what, I am not recognize anything in this particular month. So that's the third option. Fourth option is really for, I was talking about the SaaS businesses, but other kinds of construction and project-based where you are recognizing based on milestones, performances, time-based, like several ways customers recognize revenue. And the fifth answer is leverage our amazing AI platform to find anomalies. Hey, like let's say you are a certain kind of business and you always did certain way. If something is different and you fat fingered a number, our AI platform would recognize and suggest you. It won't change automatically, but you might suggest you and ask you, hey, are you sure you want to do that? And provide some best practices. So those are the questions. I'll leave some time for the poll before I move on to the Q&A.
Thank you so much. Some really great answers. It looks like we're pretty even across the board with the answers that have been given. So I think there's a lot to be sought for with revenue recognition, which is really exciting.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So I'll move on. I'll move on to the Q&A part, and we can talk more.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that information. We do have some questions coming in, and for those that are listening in, if you're interested in learning more, please don't forget to go to the links that are down below. Slide 20 has a follow-up request. If you'd like to learn more about RevRec outside of today's session, please feel free to use that link. These might be super hyper specific questions, and then they might be broad, so bear with us. Just to get everybody's on the same page here, this is only available for QuickBooks Online Advanced, or is it available for all versions of QBO?
Yeah, as of today, it's only advanced.
Only advanced. Okay. So for somebody who asked about Simple Start, this is not available in Simple Start. It's only available in advanced. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Can you use this system for trust accounting? Does the adjusting entry have to hit a revenue account?
So I don't think I completely followed that, but
yeah.
But if you have a nonprofit or a trust, like it hits adjusting entry right now hits the deferred revenue and the AR, so that balances. So I don't know if I answered it correctly, but
okay, yep, you're totally fine. How would a discount that reduces the total revenue be used or shown in this structure?
How would the discount? So when there's a discount, so that is the part which we are not supporting right now. So let's say you are you provide a discount for an annual subscription. In that case, we are providing you. This is a future solution which we are trying to solve. Either you discount it across all the periods, or you want to make that discount adjustment to a one particular month. So that is a thought process to give you options to how you post that contra entry. Or you may for a yearly, let's say at $100 yearly, you have a $200 discount already. You'll be recognizing only that $1,000 on a 12-month schedule.
Thank you so much for that. Do you happen to know if revenue recognition would work with a third-party app like Salesforce? Like, does it integrate in that way, or no, because it's new?
So I did not understand the full use case and why you wanted to do that with Salesforce. Maybe I might have a better answer, but short answer, we are not supporting APIs yet. So once we do that, I think the third parties will be supported. But there are cases where, like sales tax, we will be supporting such apps which doesn't need APIs. So
gotcha. Okay. And just to make sure that we're all on the same page here, when it comes to the constraints of this current beta, only supporting a recognition frequency of monthly, and then schedule cannot be paused or canceled without deleting the whole thing. That's the only constraints that we're talking about currently with the beta.
Mm-hmm.
How do I turn on the revenue recognition feature? Again, would you kindly go through that one more time?
Sure. So today, like right now, you have to go to the global settings and go to the sales, and then you will see revenue recognition, the products and services part. In the next 1 month, we'll be enabling it. You can enable directly from a product and service drawer, so that we are trying to make it easy for you to enable without going to the settings. But today, you have to go to the global settings.
Okay, that makes total sense. There was a question. I do have some folks asking, and this might not, I don't know if this is a question for you, but is there any plans to potentially put this into the plus version of QBO, or is it going to stay in advanced?
At least for now, it's going to be in advanced. We didn't make any decision on supporting plus today.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Um, awesome. I think that's all the questions that I'm finding here at this time. Thank you so much for all of your time and today with the presentation. We really appreciate it. If you and your folks have time to stay in the back end and answer any questions I've missed, that would be amazing. But we're actually going to go ahead and move on to our next presenter. And I have Orr next up, who's going to talk about the QuickBooks Business Network. Hi, Orr.
Hi, Leah. Thank you. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm gonna share my screen now. Hope you can see it.
Yes,
Okay,
we sure
we have
can.
we have one success today. So, hey everyone. My name is Or. I'll be shortly introduce myself. Wow, this is a big picture of me, so I'll do it quickly. So we not see that picture for too long. I'm been into it for, this is my first year here in Intuit. I'm Senior Product Manager of the B2B Network product, which I'm sure you all have heard of, and if not, you will. Actually, I'm based in Tel Aviv. It's 9:30 p.m. almost by now. And in the next few minutes, we will go through the B2B network experience together. And let's start with a warm-up question for you all, just to see that you all engage and all want to know about the QuickBooks Business Network. So the first question will be, have you or your clients interacted with the QuickBooks Business Network by now? So no, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. Or you haven't, number two is I've not used it, but I've heard about it. Number three is I received a request to connect, but I didn't send a connection request. If you don't know what that means, you should probably answer one or two. Number four is I sent a connection request, but I didn't receive one. And number five is like both ends of the interaction. I both send and receive the connection request from the QuickBooks Business Network. That's
Folks,
the first
make sure
question.
to get
Warm
that
up to
poll
see.
question answered. Yeah, we got about 10 seconds left before I got my IT guy closing out the poll. We do leave every poll open for 1 minute at least. So if you missed the last one, we did have it open for quite some time. So if you guys can get that squeezed in, it does look like we've got some folks a little bit all over, but I'm excited to see what you think. So it sounds like there's a lot of folks on the call right now who have never heard about this. So I think this would be a great opportunity to talk about it.
Okay, I'm not sure if I'm happy or sad. No, I'm happy. I'm happy that I have the chance to let you all go through what the QuickBooks Business Network is, and I'm sure once you heard of it, you will be happy to join this session today. So I prepared a great example for what the QuickBooks Business Network is and how it works. So let's start with some numbers. The network today has over 3.8 million members in it. All QBO subscribers today are part of the network. And what the network is actually allows you to search for a contact and invite them to connect. We can see an example on the right side here. This is a QBO example. When you add a new customer or vendor, this is part of your day-to-day job. Adding new contacts, new customer, new vendor. Now, when you enter the company name, you would see a list of all the companies which are part of the network. As I said, 3.8 million companies you can search for and connect with them within the network. Once you are connected to a new contact, you got their up-to-date contact information. And what we see, we have two pictures here. The first picture, the left one, is when you started to enter Harvey and you see results based on your search that you entered. And once you select one, you can see all his information, email, phone number, website, address, and more are being auto-populated. Now, as you can see, part of those information are masked to protect your privacy because we don't want everyone on the network to just go on and get your private information. After you fill in and you select the company you want to connect to, you send them a connection request, which is the bottom right button, save and send. Again, this is part of our day-to-day job to add contacts. Now, instead of adding them locally to my QBO account, I will be connecting to them on the network. What it allows me, other than get their up-to-date information, is also to power the API automation, which I will talk about in the next slide, but it allows me to send and receive invoices directly from them to my QuickBooks account. And already now we have tens of thousands of businesses are already connected. Thousands of the invoices were sent over the network and have become a bill. And I wanted to point out that the network was launched just 1 month ago. So we're talking about 1 month, and we already have 3.8 million members, tens of thousands of connections, and thousands of invoices being sent from one business to another. I mean, I'm excited. I hope you too. But let's talk about the API automation. So if having connected to each other, it also allows us to send invoices between each other. So if I'm adding someone on my network and I am connected to my vendor, all right, I send an invoice to my customer. Again, two connections, one is a vendor and one is a customer. The vendor sends an invoice to the customer to get paid. QuickBooks automatically creates an out-of-field bill. All right, unlike today when we just send invoices and get them on QuickBooks and they need to add the bill manually to pay for that invoice. If we two are connected on the network, it goes automatically. The screen we see here on the right side is a review screen. One company has received an invoice for another company. They are both connected on the network, and the bill was automatically created. It's important to say that the bill is saved as a staging mode. Only after you review the bill, and as you can see, it's very easy to do it. It's auto-populated automatically. You get all the information you need. You see the invoice scanned on the bill. Once you save and send it, it will apply in your QuickBooks account and to your books. Obviously, it dramatically reduces the manual bill entry and saves you a lot of time. In addition, we saw that 70%, almost 70% of invoices who sent between two network connections and turned to bills were marked as paid within 1 week. Again, 1 week after the invoice was sent, it was already marked as paid. This was thanks to the major time saving and so easy way to mark invoices, to automatically translate those invoices to bills and mark them as paid. All right, so we're just getting started. The network was launched 1 month ago. It is live since January 17. It is opt-in for all QBO subscribers in the US and later on to Canada as well. We did, as I said, allow everyone on the network to receive invoices from connected vendors as auto-filled bills. Just review them and save. Again, you can also send invoices to your customers and it will go directly to their QuickBooks account. And we get the up-to-date contact information of the connected customers and vendors. You saw it on the first slide that I presented. We get the email, the address, the phone number, all contact information are available without needing to add all those details when adding a new customer or vendor. But this is just the beginning. We want to go even further. Now, when the bill was created, in the future, what's coming is that we will add wallets as well. So you'll be able to not only mark the bill as paid, but also to pay the bill directly with QBO. We will allow bills payment between two network connections. Another big thing we are planning is compliance. Now, when all details are shared with network members, we can also get and request W-9 from network vendors right in QuickBooks. So you will know your vendors are compliant. And we also will do a simplified vendor management, which will allow inviting non-QBO vendors and contractors to sign up for the network for free. just for getting paid, just for use the network. They don't have to be QBO customers. You will be able to add those vendors. They will be able to opt into the network and to provide contract payments and W-9. Now that you know so exciting thing about the network and so much to go on, how would you like us to improve the QuickBooks Business Network even further? Do you think you would want to list accountants in the network as well? Because as I said today, it's only for subscribers QBO. Add wallets to the network and pay bills, what I've mentioned in the previous slide. Exchange W-9 with network members. Or add in-product notification for pending connection requests. Today, the requests are being done by emails. Number 5, if you thought about anything else, any other way you think you can improve the QuickBooks Business Network, please specify it in the Q&A section.
Don't forget to get that poll question answered, guys. We got a few more seconds. We're going to have this open before we close it down. Thank you so much for all the information. A lot of great stuff. It looks like we've got some good feedback as far as exchanging W-9 with network members and listing the accountants. I know that I've been seeing a lot of folks in the chat, or Q&A, I should say, asking about accountants being in the network. So I think you guys have your next set of steps, so to speak.
Thank you.
And yes, if there is something else that you would like to specify, please feel free to throw that in the Q&A.
Yeah, a lot of folks about talking about W-9. Obviously, I agree, by the way. I would point number 3 as well, and adding accountant to the network as well. So yeah, great answers, guys.
All right, are you ready for the tons of questions? We're gonna filter. No, I'm just kidding.
Do my best.
No, we'll take it easy on you. I know it's late for you, and thanks again for being here and it being late. We really
happy
appreciate
to be here.
And
really,
I
really do.
Awesome, thank you. So I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So for those that have been asking, accountants are not currently a part of the network. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Accountants are not part of the network today. But I am happy to know that you are showing so interest in joining, and we will definitely take it into consideration.
Yeah. In addition to that, there was also questions around as far as like the existing users for the network. So the existing users is just QuickBooks Online subscribers, correct? As of right now.
That is correct. Yes, as of right now. In the future, we will allow inviting non-QBO to join the network as well. But as of now, there are only QBO subscribers.
A lot of the questions I'm seeing are coming around like especially with accountants, right? They use third-party app Bill.com a lot. And so I think that that's kind of a little bit of a pain point currently, right? And folks use a lot of things like Bill.com or some other third-party applications. And so I think that the question around that hey, is that something you guys are thinking about? And it sounds like you are.
We definitely are. We are wanting to support a better way to pay bills. I wouldn't say better, but yeah, better way than bill to pay bills within QBO through the network. So yes, if you have questions about Bill.com and the integration, we will support the way to pay bills without Bill.com if you wish to.
Awesome. That would be really awesome, making things a little more seamless so that it's not super blocky sometimes, so that's exciting. So there was a question around auto population of the EIN, and do we have to elect to have that? I'm assuming they're referring to the screenshot you had shown earlier.
Yes, so the auto population of the EIN is not, if you're talking about the bill payment, we will not auto populate the EIN necessarily. And in any case, and it's important to mention that if you haven't accepted the connection request whatsoever, no information will be shared. Not the EIN, not the email, not the phone number, none of the information will be shared. All information will only be shared if you accept the invitation. If you know who that vendor or customer is, we want to protect your privacy. It's important for us, and this is why all information will only be shared on acceptance.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's so people that show up in the network are the only ones that have accepted, correct, the invitation?
Yes, if I have accepted
Gotcha.
your invitation to join me, so we will be connected. Only once we are connected on the network, we will be able to see each other's information.
Okay, cool. And that's currently only QBO subscribers.
But in the future,
know.
I get it, yeah. But in the future, we will allow non-QBO to join as well. It's important for us, and I understand it's important to you all guys. So that's good to know.
For sure. It's not you, it's me. I'm just making. So some questions around pricing. Is this free in QuickBooks Online, or is this included in the monthly subscription fee that is paid?
Everything I've mentioned is part of the normal QBO subscription you're opted in today. No extra charge for being participating in the network. By the way, even in the future, when we add non-QBO, joining the network will be free. We will provide great pricing for paying the bills once we will enable this, but that's in the future. For now, everything I showed that already exists is non-extra charge.
That's awesome. Exciting to hear. We're always adding new stuff and it's just integrated right away. No extra charge. I love that. There was another question. So I'm sure you're familiar with the bill pay services that we have inside QuickBooks Online. So like there's like a bill.com service, and then like Melio, where you can pay electronically. Someone was asking, is this planning on replacing those, or is this just kind of in service too, or?
It will be better. I'm not know what's the future comes in terms of replacement, but yes, we will allow very similar services like Melio and Bill.com, similar. Again, I think it's better. It's within QBO, no integrations, no third parties. And yes, the experience will be similar to what we have in Melio. So we will be able to pay bills like Melio offer today. Again, between network members, so you will not need to exchange their payment details. This is big. This is something Melio and Bill.com doesn't support today because they are third parties and there is integration. When everything is part of QBO and two network connections are paying each other, the experience will be much smoother. So yes, the short answer is yes, replacing Bill.com or Melio, and the long answer is it will be better.
Thank you so much. And I am seeing a lot of comments in the Q&A of like, hey, I loved all those options, by the way, not just one specifically. So I think, I think no matter what you do, no matter what you do, people are going to be super excited for those updates. And then last but certainly not the least question, can you just remind us, is this in Canada currently? I know we have some Canadian folks here who are eager to know.
Great question. Great question. Today, a month after the launch, it's only for the US, but later, and really later, I mean, talking about a few months, it will be launched to Canada as well. Today, not yet, but really right around the corner, It's like several, maybe even weeks.
Okay, all my Canadian friends, if you heard that, not yet, but soon, very soon. So hold tight, we're getting there, I promise. Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you spending time with us today, and again, staying up and presenting this awesome information. And hope you get some sleep after this, and have a great rest of your day / weekend.
Thank you. It was a pleasure for me. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. All right. I do believe I have my next guest coming up, which is QuickBooks Online Payments with the new invoicing, and I've got Jason, who's going to be getting on and sharing a little bit about himself and the new invoicing.
Hello, thank you. Yeah, so I'm here to talk about the new invoice experience. I am the product management lead of the invoicing team. I've been with Intuit about 4 years now, and I'm in Toronto, Canada, and also looking forward to the B2B network launching here. But let's talk about invoicing. So the elephant in the room is, why do we need to change the design? And there's actually a lot going on under the surface. This new estimate and invoice interface is built on top of a state-of-the-art tech stack. And so you're probably wondering, so what? But the benefit is we can build features on this new experience in roughly half the time it took previously, meaning we can deliver more features for you and your clients. And so we saw that firsthand when we were building PayPal and the Venmo experience. We were able to build those much faster than previously. And we've also gotten feedback from the partner community. And so we're bringing back a single line table that's better for data entry. I don't know if any of you have seen the current experience. If you have a lot of fields like SKU, the number of rows can expand per product or service. And so we're working on a single larger table. This new experience is also really intuitive for customers to learn how to use QBO, and our data validates that. We have 3 new views to see previews of what the end customer sees, and those are on the top left. So there's the email preview, PDF preview, and then the payor preview, which is the online checkout preview, which many QBO users actually don't know what it looks like when someone on the end is paying a pay-enabled invoice. And we're seeing dramatically increased discovery via this right navigation. And we've built in the option to switch back and forth to the new and old experience. And that button is right here in the top right. This gives customers the option to try it out and see the differences firsthand. And on that note, the opt-out rate of customers we put in this new experience is currently 7% and continues to drop with each release of enhancements. So the main goal here is to increase visibility and communication with you, our community of partners, when it comes to these experience changes and how we're building for the future. So broadly speaking, all customers will eventually be moved to this new invoice experience over the course of the coming year. They of course have the ability to switch back and forth between experiences and to go for a test drive on their schedule. So you're probably wondering, how do we decide who we move into this new experience? And it's based on functionality and the most simple use cases. So right now, that's customers that we call simple invoicers. And maybe they turn on sales tax or maybe payments and classes, but they don't use much else. And a chunk of those customers are in the new experience right now. We're slowly starting to put in customers who use custom fields. And then in the summer, we'll bring in template customization. And so the goal is to have all users on this new experience and have everyone happy with it because we've listened and we've added what's missing. For example, people ask for predictive autocomplete like you have in Gmail. And so you can see that on the left, that now when you're typing in your note to a customer, it will predictive autocomplete. Another example, as I mentioned, is this wider table that we're working on, and that'll make data entry much easier, and we'll have more hotkeys for our expert keyboard users. So let's take a look. Our design team created this prototype for our partner community, and it's a way for you to play around with the new experience. This way you don't have a company file attached. You can just get the hang of it and feel confident talking to your customers about it later. We're also increasing our proactive communication with the partner community on when exactly we plan to bring more people into this experience. And then we've created a set of walkthrough videos, which are easy to Google. They're also in this deck and the handout. And we have help articles that you can reference for your own knowledge and share with your clients to make the transition easier. Lastly, we want continuous feedback. And so we've incorporated that into this prototype. And so with that, let me hop in here. And so this is what the prototype will look like. It comes with a set of instructions. So let's go to the first section of the prototype, which is converting an estimate to an invoice. So you click on the green button and that opens this. And you can see here's an estimate. You can also click anywhere on the screen and it shows you what is interactive. And so I see, okay, I can click convert to invoice and it shows what it would look like to convert an estimate over to an invoice. And then the other key is with this new experience, we have an approval flow. So when an estimate is sent out, the end payor, if they approve that invoice, that gets updated in QBO, and then you can click convert to estimate. And so that's an example of a workflow that we're trying to automate and make things easier. So next would be the invoice view. And that's what we have right here. And so this is what I was hinting at earlier, is now we have an email view where you can see what the email will look like that's being sent. You can click on the PDF view and easily see the PDF. And then lastly, the payor view. And so this is what it looks like when someone is checking out and paying for an invoice with online payments. And as the payment methods are updated, if you added PayPal, you see PayPal. If you only want to do ACH, for example, only ACH would appear here. So next we'll look at populating the invoice. And so I'll just go to the top. So you enter in the customer information up here. Just refresh this. All right, so we enter the customer information up here. You can enter a custom field, which can either be hidden or visible. Repeat customer is something that you probably only want to have internally versus purchase order. Then you can create a product or service here. This is how you would add a new one. You can delete one by clicking on the trash icon. And then down here, we have the note to the customer, which after using this a few times, it will learn if there's a pattern of what your note to customer is commonly. And then if you have a few different ones that you usually cycle through, it will start to predictively autocomplete those for you. And then lastly, let's take a look at the invoice settings and actions. And so this is our new settings panel right here. You can close it by clicking on this X, or you can open it by clicking manage. There's the ability to edit default settings, which are more your global settings. And so that's somewhere where you would turn on custom fields or turn on discount or service date, for example. And then when you're on the invoice, these are more the invoice level settings where I can click here and toggle payment terms, for example, and you can see that's updated in line. So you get an idea of what the customer is going to see. We also have the ability to customize the payment options. And as you toggle options on and off, that's reflected here on the invoice and as well in the payor view. And then down here under design, we have light template customization right now. And as I mentioned, we're building the full robust template customization that exists on the current experience. And that's going to be rolling out in the summer. And so right now we haven't put any customers in who do any kind of template customization because we only have this version 1 right now. And then later in the summer, when we roll out the full template customization functionality, we'll start to move some of those customers in, and we'll of course let you know when that's happening. Lastly, there's a automation section. And right now, not able to scroll, but the automation section has recurring invoices in it. And that section will start to expand as we build more and more tools to help automate tasks like predictive autocomplete. Our goal is to make it so that if you create similar invoices frequently, then in the automation section, you could see the ability to create another invoice that is already pre-populated with a lot of the stuff that you maybe is always the same for the same customer. And lastly, on the last section of this prototype, we have a feedback link. And here we want to get feedback from you on how you think about the new experience, what's missing, what we can do to improve, because we really want this to be a collaborative and iterative process with us and our partners. So on that note, in light of gathering feedback, we'd like to know through this poll, the likelihood to recommend the new invoicing experience and what could increase that. So would you like to see more training, resources, practice with stuff like this prototype, videos, Would you like to see a roadmap and a timeline of which customers get the new experience and when? Spoiler alert, it's not, this isn't an or, this is going to be an and. When features are in, the feature functionality is the same as classic compared to the new experience, which is classes, tags, custom fields, multiple templates. We're well aware of all that stuff and it's almost all done. The option to switch back and forth between invoices, and then maybe you'd like to give constructive feedback on the experience.
Thank you so much, Jason. We got a few more seconds here before we close out that poll. So please be sure to give us your answer. I think for me personally, I would love to practice with it. I think that would be fun to play around. I don't know if my opinion matters.
It does, yeah.
But it looks,
Let's see how it ranks to the actual polls.
I think we got a landslide winner here. So looks like
Awesome.
Over 52% are also on the same page with more training resources and practice. And obviously, you know, if you've been around for a while, we know QBO, we start small, we work our way big. So some of the stuff that we've started with, I think, is really exciting, and I can't wait to see where it goes next. Yeah,
well, only 42 of you wanted to give us feedback, but each of those 42 of you, we want to hear it, and hopefully some more. So please hop in, throw in your feedback. We want to make sure that we're building everything we can for our partners. Okay, let's hop
on to Q&A. We've got quite a few questions, and I just want to make sure we're all together on this. So one of the first questions that I saw was, is this available for accountants to use?
For the most part, no. And that's because we want to make sure that we have the full set of functionality before we start moving accountant files in. For example, we don't have the robust template customization yet. And so that's a key feature that a lot of our accountant community uses. That being said, if you create any new trial account, which you can do under your file, all new accounts are in the new experience, and you can use this prototype as well. And then later in the summer, we'll give you guys a heads up, and then we'll start moving accountants into this experience when it's fully ready for you.
Okay, that makes sense. There was some questions around wait, hang on, I had it. Oh, progress billing, progress invoicing. Does the new experience support that currently?
Not yet. So anyone who uses any kind of progress billing, progress invoicing, they are still in the current experience, and we're not going to move those people over until we build the progress functionality.
Okay, so if we have existing QBO customers who are using features of the new experience that does not exist yet, then they will not be offered the option to use it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And actually, so I'll add one more detail on that. So let's say you're a new customer, you're new to QBO, so you sign up, you get put in this new invoicing experience, and then you turn on progress invoicing. Then a modal pops up and it says, this is a feature that's not supported on the new invoicing experience. So if you'd like, you can switch to the classic experience, or you can stay here. And then they have the ability to toggle back and forth as well. So they could go to the classic experience, create some progress invoices, go back to the new experience, or just stay in the classic experience.
That's nice. I like that you have the option to keep people in the classic or try the new, especially if they're able to, and then letting people know that if they are going to use a feature that's not supported yet, that they're being notified. So I think that's really great. Transparency. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word for a second. And so there was also some other questions. Are you able to have multiple payments on an invoice with the new experience? So let's say it's $1,000 invoice and they want to pay $250.
Yeah.
So yeah, that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, like a partial payment.
Oh. Yeah.
That's partial. Yeah.
There's a couple different questions that I saw around like multiple like items. Like, can you add multiple items on these new invoice templates?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. You can add as
well,
many as you want.
see if there's any other questions in here that I can ask. It looks like I do see some folks that are responding in the Q&A with some feedback for you, Jason. So I'm excited
Cool.
to get that to you so you can kind of take a look and see what they have to say. But I really appreciate all the time that you spent with us. I'm super excited about these new up and coming changes, this new prototype of the new invoices. Excited to see where we continue to grow that. So thanks again for all of your time, and that'll be all for now. I think we're going to move on to the wrap up and then close out the webinar. So thanks so much, Jason.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Awesome. Well, folks, thanks again for another successful QuickBooks in the Know webinar. Thanks again for joining. Just a few last reminders. Trainings and webinars, you'll also find the boot camp there, qbtrainingevents.com. Please feel free to check that out. It is free. You don't have to pay for any of that. Our Firm of the Future blog, you'll find all kinds of great things in there, what's new over the last few months, as well as articles that are written by folks that use our products as well. A lot of really great information. And it's not just that, there's a ton more stuff in there too. And then last but certainly not least, we have the Your Feedback in Action. This is an article that was filled out by Ted Callahan, or sent out by Ted Callahan recently. So we'd love for you guys to take a look at that. It's on our Firm of the Future website. Just kind of let you guys know what we're doing with the feedback that you've provided us over the years and what we're gonna do with that moving forward. So really great stuff to come. Thank you guys again so much for an awesome hour, and I will not be here next month, but I do have a very good friend who can take good care of you guys, and I will see you guys back in May. So take care.